George Lucas is back. He's back, baby! That's right. Disney has resold Lucasfilm to George Lucas. No, that didn't happen. George Lucas showed up at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was his first time there. He brought the house down. I think he had a record crowd, and he talked a lot about his museum and art and a lot of the same things he's been saying for a very long time. So we're going to talk about the maker, of course, because this podcast would not exist if it wasn't for that man's imagination and maybe
True.
his dog.
And our
Indiana.
friendship and the good times and all of this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But welcome, everybody, to the Resistance broadcast. It's great to have you. Thanks for listening or watching. However you are in the base, if you are listening to this, you are part of the Resistance, and we welcome you. I'm John. That is Lacey, and we have a pretty cool show. We are bringing back One with the Force. A lot of pressure in that segment because there's always tough choices to make, and you have to make them too. So we want your answers in the comments, on our Patreon, Discord, wherever, social media. I don't care, because if we have to make the tough ones, you do too. We're all in this together. Lacey, how you doing?
Good. Couple things. First of all, sorry this is a day late. There was a big storm up by us.
Oh,
John lost power, so we couldn't record.
it's all gone.
So you guys got a fun Friday episode. Hashtag fun Friday.
Yeah.
2, thank you to everyone that commented on our last episode that was more of like the fun, not newsy, just talking about collecting. That turned into a collecting conversation, which wasn't the intention, but you guys had a lot of fun with it and wrote in the comments of what you collect, from Starbucks mugs to figures and all this other stuff. And it was really cool to read. And I just want Cal Baker to know, don't feel guilty for not getting me an Ewok. I got one anyway. It's okay. I saw your comment. It's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And other than that, I'm doing great.
Good.
We do not have a TRB next week, just FYI. Spending some time with the fam, and I'm looking forward to having some tropical drinks and eating cheeseburgers.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we are heading to Legoland this weekend.
I'm so excited for you for that.
Yep.
I know I told you that already, and I didn't mean to cut you off. I just get really excited. I'm very excited for you because we love that park.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out. Kids are fired up. They watched the Lego movie for the first time. I know that really has nothing to do with Star Wars.
Really?
They enjoyed that one. So we are ready to go because Johnny's been in on like Ninjago stuff. So
he's gonna love the Ninjago ride.
Yeah, I think we're set up for a good time at Legoland. The weather should be cooperating, so all systems go. As it is with this podcast, a couple things at the top. Our good buddy Ray at Star Wars Toy Stories. We are going to do something with him eventually at one of these celebrations.
Poor Ray has been trying for years.
Yeah.
To get stuff into Celebration, and it's tough. It's tough to get panels in Celebration.
He's a good guy. So follow his channel, Star Wars Toy Stories. Basically, he makes movies using Star Wars toys. He released the latest trailer for his new movie called Home Solo, which is like a mashup of Home Alone and Toy Story.
It's fun
with Star Wars figures.
It's great.
The trailer looks great. Congrats. And the patience you have to do that kind of stuff. I don't have that. So Ray, hats off to you. But go follow his channel, Star Wars Toy Stories. Ray's a great guy. Congrats to him, and look forward to seeing the movie. Mm-hmm. And then a quick PSA. We're not gonna cover this rumor in Resistance Report. And it's gonna be a pretty light Resistance Report today. But another rumor comes out now about this Ray movie, Lacey, and the latest one is saying now the movie's gonna be filming next year. And I'm just at the point now where, like, I saw that actually I wasn't even on like Twitter or anything, and I saw that on a site, and there's so many of these sites that make their articles look like they're official and that stuff because everyone can do everything now digitally. And I think it just runs rampant, and you see these posts have like 30,000 likes on them, and people in the comments like, oh, this stuff about something that's probably not true, is my point. So I think the Ray movie's happening at some point, or they're shifting it to the Simon Kinberg trilogy. Daisy Ridley's coming back as Ray. I think we're at the point now, though, where we just need to put it on the shelf in our minds for a bit, because it's probably not going to be very soon. Lacey, what are your thoughts on the latest rumors that now it's not on hold, now it's filming next year?
I think the internet is a very messy place. It's the Wild West currently. That report came out this past week of the amount of bots that are on the internet and fake accounts that people are engaging with. I think Twitter alone, X, is 75% of the accounts on there are bots.
Is that true?
75%. So when it was purchased and they were like, no more bots. Yeah, that's not true. 75% of them are not real. So remember that when you're arguing with someone that's probably not a real person. That being said, I would always wait for announcements from big trades, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Lucasfilm themselves, Disney, etc. Because yeah, I don't know. It's just like everybody has the capabilities, like you said, which is wonderful. It's a democratic technology that everybody can make a blog, everybody can make a Instagram account or YouTube channel, whatever. That's great. That's wonderful. I'm all for free speech and people wanting to be journalists or do whatever they want, entertainment journalism. But it can get confusing, and it is sometimes hard for even us to keep track of, like, week to week. So we might have to bring up a segment about rumors and just to separate it from news.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can get a little crazy sometimes. But
Yeah. I
yeah.
think as more things go into production and stuff, maybe that is a good idea. If we're noticing there's a lot of rumors at one point, we could always do a new segment. Yeah, that's a good call.
Mhm.
Because we
Yeah.
used to do the rumor reviews on Patreon, I think.
What it
But that'd
would
be
no, that's not what they're oh, was it rumor review?
it was rumor and theory reviews, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah.
liked those.
Those were fun. That I mean, maybe that's something we can do on the podcast now. We'll see. We'll talk about it. I love how we're
Yeah.
like workshopping about what we're doing on the podcast on an episode. I do
We're
have
honest
to
with you guys.
before we get into a just robust resistance report. But we do have one with the forest later and your questions and ask the resistance. So a lot of show today. I have to bring up with our audience that I want their opinion on this because Lacey said I looked funny when I drink out of my water bottle. So,
Oh, here it goes. Okay, go
all right,
ahead.
let's. What? What was wrong with that?
Nothing, John. Just
Should I do a
super.
side one? Like, because it has a straw feature, so I don't need to really tilt it. You see?
How nice for you to be drinking out of a straw. So cute.
It's an Owala. These are top of the line name brand. Sponsor the podcast, Owala. All right, that could be a good Jedi name too. Jedi Master Owala. What do you think?
That's your Jedi name now.
All right, Jedi Master Owala.
And you have to show up to every fight or negotiation drinking out of that water bottle exactly like that.
I gotta start kissing some backsides to have a character named after my Jedi in a book or something.
Oh man.
All right, let's get into the show. Let's get into the resistance report.
It's the resistance.
Okay, couple of stories
I noticed, by the way,
to get into.
we don't. Speaking of Harrison Ford, who's in that intro, we didn't include his Variety interview in here. He didn't say much about Star Wars, but he said like he cares about the people that are in Star Wars, and it means a lot to him. In case someone asks about that in the comments, why didn't you bring this up? Because he didn't really talk about it, but he looks great.
He did say he has zero intentions of retiring because movies and shows need old people for old people roles.
I love it.
So,
I love it. He just is so over the stupid questions. He's like
yeah.
what are we doing?
You know what? Give me 20 more years of Harrison Ford. Like, who's gonna say
I
no
just
to
need
that?
20 more years of him doing red carpet interviews where he's like, I don't care. Like, why are you asking me this? Like, no.
If no, my favorite recent one was I think it was at Indiana Jones, and someone asked him, "What would you do if you had the time travel device,
Oh
the
yeah, and he
Dial of
said go
Destiny?"
home, right?
And he said, "Home.
Oh, I'd go home.
I haven't been home in a long time." And the guy wasn't laughing, so Harrison was like, trying to be funny at first, but then he was like, "I'm just gonna go with it. I want to be home." All right. So we have a couple of stories here to get into. Obviously, San Diego Comic-Con. We knew there was going to be a big Star Wars presence, but something Star Wars Celebration fans probably already saw in Japan. I didn't make it to the Maul Shadow Lord panel, the animation panel, where they revealed this. But we're getting our first official public look at Maul in Shadow Lord, and the first look at Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka Season 2. So, Lacey, we took a look at these images. We got Maul. We got Ezra. Maul's looking as ferocious and deadly as ever, and Ezra's looking happy and a little charming and very middle-of-the-run Rebels type of vibe. So what'd you make of these images? And do you have any thoughts on them? Do they make you think anything about these upcoming shows? Where are you at with these two? I guess this was the biggest thing from Star Wars out of San Diego Comic-Con in terms of like quote unquote reveals, but
Yeah, the Esmon Ezra Bridger one was probably the bigger news, I would say, over Darth Maul. Not that he's not important. I love his Jedi Sith robe that's like has no undershirt. He's just rocking the bare chest. Good for you, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. So I'm excited to watch that. Is it my number one character? No, but it looks sick. So just pumped. It looks like a normal picture of Maul. The Ezra one's interesting just because he's wearing the Star Warsy jacket. He's got the Han Solo flip hair. He's got the blue contacts, which many people have issue with. From what I've seen in comments online, people are like, the contacts look ridiculous, but they're going for the eyes that he has in the animated series. So
yeah.
I think people need to remember that. At the same time, I don't think they look that bad.
No, I don't either.
I think they look fine. He looks happy, which makes me happy. I know our buddy Brian Ward did a Photoshop where they had Jabba the Hutt. He photoshopped Jabba the Hutt in this picture. Made me laugh. What I find interesting about this article from IGN is that they do say that Maul Shadow Lord is due out in 2026, and then there is no date for Ahsoka yet, so they don't have that. But at the bottom, they do say Mandalorian and Grogu is set to come out May 22nd, 2026, and Starfighter May 28th, 2027. But there's no date for Ahsoka, and I'm like, can't help but my initial reaction is, would Disney hold that for an extra year?
I
Would they
don't
hold on
know.
to it?
Yeah, I don't know about that because I'm thinking about it now, and usually, I mean, they're filming Ahsoka in the UK this time, right?
Yeah, they
So
just finished, I think, filming, didn't they?
did they just
Or
finish?
are they still filming? They might still be filming.
I think they're still filming because I think they started around the time of Star Wars Celebration, which was late
Week
April.
after. Yeah.
And these shows typically seem to film for like 6 months or so, I think. Because I
Yeah.
think the Mando was usually like September to March type of thing. So I think this is probably going to film it through October. We're going to get that announcement that it was, they completed filming in the fall. And then they'll release that it's coming out next fall or next Thanksgiving or something like that. That's my guess. So that they can capture some of the Star Wars holiday vibe that we loved when Disney first did it.
Mm-hmm. I just hope that they release more Star Wars jackets. I feel like they haven't done that. Which Star Wars, of all the costume pieces that are the cool things in Star Wars outside of like lightsabers, I would say the jacket might be the number one costume piece.
Well,
Han Solo jackets, Luke Skywalker jackets, Ezra Bridger jackets, Paul Carson Teva jackets. Still want a Rancor patch jacket.
Yep.
Haven't released that.
If I still had my sunburn, I would totally be down with this new Maul tunic or whatever.
Are you saying you would go with the bare chest out? Is that what you're
Bare-chested. Just go for it. And like
Can
normal
I just ask
life.
a question? Why does it always have to include either you shirtless, you with your arms out? Like what? What are we doing? What is this?
Well, it's because I'm a little, like when you do something for such a long time and then you don't do it anymore, you get nostalgic about it and you try to like just make references like, oh, I can still do it. And
Did
being
you
that
take
it's
your shirt off a lot? What?
no, but it's been 2 years now since, I mean, it's uncredited, but I was the stunt abs for Hugh
Oh my
Jackman in Deadpool and
God,
Wolverine.
so annoying. So
I
annoying.
was Brad Pitt's stunt abs in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And because they're uncredited, I don't get paid for these. And anytime the reaction you're having now, it's funny. Everyone that laughs at me every time I say that. But it's just one of those hidden secrets that I'm letting the world know again for the
John
fourth time.
Hoey is abs in Deadpool at TRP Podcast on Twitter. Source. So ridiculous.
I do like Star Wars jackets. I wish I had at least one Han Solo jacket. Obviously, that'd be
I
my first one
know.
to get.
Yeah.
I like Ezra's outfit here, though. I don't know necessarily what these things necessarily mean on him or what. This does look like a very classic Star Wars location that he's in. It's almost like that looks like he's in his quarters or whatever. Like that's his like
That looks
bedroom
like,
or
yeah, Resistance or Republic
this is gonna
base
be
type thing.
yeah, it looks like it's gonna be one of those scenes sort of reminiscent of when they're visiting Luke after he's healing in Hoth and they're sort of hanging out and like joking around.
Oh, like Hera went to go check in, see how he's doing. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you've been checked out. How you doing? And like, she's gonna come in, and the droid's gonna move out of the way, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, hey," and
Yeah.
she's like, "Wow, you look better cleaned up or something." I don't know,
Yeah. And then
because he had the beard last time we saw him.
yeah, true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, Eman Esfandi looks awesome. Contacts, whatever. I know people said the same thing about
it
Hera
doesn't.
and her
Yeah, it
contacts.
doesn't bother me. I don't know.
But he's got the scar. The hair looks very Ezra to me. So I'm excited to see more of Ezra in his element in season 2. I have a feeling Ezra is really going to push to the forefront of this series, especially in the known galaxy side of things, while Ahsoka and who's with Ahsoka? Is Sabine with Ahsoka, right?
Sabine is
Yeah.
because Ezra's proof that what happened happened. Like
Yeah,
he
exactly.
is the
He
proof.
he can
Yeah.
attest to it. Yeah. So I think he's going to be way more at the forefront here, which I wonder if that means now that Thrawn is in the known galaxy, if we're looking at another showdown straight up of Ezra Thrawn, like they closed out Rebels. So I'm liking this image a lot. I'm loving the Maul image. I'm very excited to see Sam Witwer back and have Maul lead his own series, mainly because of how like Shakespearean and tragic they've made that character. There's so many layers to Maul now, whereas if Maul was just in the Phantom Menace, and don't I love the Phantom Menace.
Me
We've talked
too.
about this.
Oh, yeah.
Darth Maul is amazing in the Phantom Menace. So if that was all we had of him and he died there, he's a legend. It's like icon of
Every
evil.
Every time we bring it up, I just think of that one Resistance transmission where the guy was like, the guy was all pumped wearing Darth Maul outfit, doing like flips and stuff and flipping around his lightsaber. And then Maul dies. And he's like, and we go to leave the theater, and there's the guy in the front row just sitting there, like just sad.
Sad Maul.
Oh, Maul.
But if like a series like this, like an animated Maul series was announced, like just after, like not after, literally just after, but as the only thing of Maul after the Phantom Menace, I'd be like, I don't know if I want a series with this guy. He's so wooden, he's so one-dimensional. But then what they did with him in the Clone Wars, Rebels, and even the Solo cameo, like Sam Witwer has added this odd elegance to him and this just really layered, nuanced character that he's become. So all bets are off. Like crime lord, Sith lord, dark side force user who's not a Sith lord anymore, obsessed with Kenobi. Like there's so many things to this character now. I'm just curious to see what they do with it. So I'm actually very excited for Shadow Lord. And you know me, I mean, I'm picky with my Star Wars animation, but that one I really am excited about.
I might say that I'm even more of a Sam Witwer fan than a Darth Maul fan. Like I'm just excited for
okay.
Sam.
Yeah, that works. That plays.
He's such a good moderator.
He is very good.
So good.
All right. Next story, not really Star Wars related, but there is Star Wars in it because George Lucas made his first appearance ever at Hall H San Diego Comic-Con to a record crowd, as we understand it. And he spoke about his new museum, which is opening next year, and including what will be featured there, which he mentioned there's going to be a lot of Star Wars artifacts, full-size ships, speeder bikes, N1 starfighter, a lot of cool things, and it's going to be such a gigantic place. I imagine there's going to be a lot of Star Wars things in there, Indiana Jones stuff, and a lot of other movies, and even movies like when we went to Skywalker Ranch, all the giant movie posters he had in there.
Oh my gosh, stunning.
And I was joking on the tour, like I thought I knew movies, and like I haven't heard of like 80% of these movies. So this place is going to be an incredible location. I hope we get a chance to go when we go to Celebration or whatever. We got to go there and check that museum out. But anyway, there he was talking about it. He was also joined by Guillermo del Toro and someone else. Doug Chiang. Doug Chiang was there, right? Yeah.
Just this guy called Doug. I don't know.
Yeah. Kick him out of that panel. No. No, of course, Doug Chiang. It just slipped my mind. But there were some cool quotes from George Lucas. So, Lacey, before I get into any of them, any takeaways from just George Lucas being there, that he was at San Diego Comic-Con, which is surprising to me? Any of your thoughts on some of the quotes he gave as well?
Well, it's a little sad that he wasn't there for Star Wars. I'm not going to lie. That he was there for this museum, which is still awesome. Don't get me wrong. But it's a little bit like, oh, he's not there to talk about Star. But he might come back for the 50th. That might happen. But the first thing that stood out to me is that he has amassed a collection of over 40,000 pieces, and he, quote, refuses to sell any of them. I love that. I love that for George.
Yeah.
Which, as you guys know, over the years I've done, I think I did one full year, but then there was 1 year I did half, and then, I got pregnant, so then I stopped. But I used to do that like collection piece a day, and I did the math, and he would be doing it for 109 years if he did a George My Collection 366, 365, whatever. I appreciate everybody that's on this panel. I think it's really important that he was seen with people that are specific to the art side of things and the way things look and different mediums. Like we know Guillermo del Toro is very much into, animation isn't just for kids movies. It's just a medium to tell stories. And he's done the movies with puppetry, and he's doing Frankenstein now, and he's all about art. He paints his own models, which is like the nerdiest, coolest thing that I've heard from
awesome.
him. Yeah, he's just like seems like a really cool guy.
Do you think he has those glasses that get really down to the details?
He does.
Wow.
He's posted photos of it, and like he'll go to like comic book shops and gaming shops to like pick up certain, kind of like Steve Carell and 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he like
yes, yeah,
just like
now
that.
I'm making it blue. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this quote from George where he says, if you have an emotional connection, that's art. The idea that people can tell you what art is. From my experience making movies, other people's opinions don't mean much. The only thing that matters is what you do and how you feel about it. Man, is that like the best quote possible. And it's such an inspiration from a guy that really doesn't give an F. And that's from everybody we've ever spoken to that's worked with George, that's been around George. He's like, I don't care. This is what I want to do. I don't. And a lot of his anxiety and, success through the anxiety is due to letting that part of it go, of saying someone doesn't like this, but I do, and I'm going to make what I want to make. And I think that's what somewhat could be the downfall of the prequels a little bit, because he did do what he wanted to do, but at the same time, it's such a success because he saw through the exact vision that he had. And I have to appreciate that for what it is. I think every Star Wars fan does. I was so pumped that he got the reception that he did. He holds now the record for the biggest panel on a Sunday. This was Sunday of San Diego Comic-Con. It was 6,500 people in Hall H for him. They gave him a standing ovation. They screamed for him. They did all this. And I'm just glad he's getting that love again, because there was a period, whether people want to accept it or not, that he was not seeing the love from fans, which I think ultimately drove him to sell Lucasfilm. But it's nice to see him up there. And he looked great. He looked so
good.
great.
Moving pretty good.
Yeah, and he was just, it seemed like he was excited to talk about this. So we've said this before, anytime he can talk about things he cares about, he's more animated, he's more passionate, he wants to be there. That's when he truly shines. And I think this was an example of that. I can't wait to go to this museum someday. It sounds absolutely like breathtaking, change your life type stuff. And it is really, really cool. It's also got like a park around it and on top of it, which I appreciate. Um, I would be uh remiss if I didn't mention what Guillermo had said about apps. So they were
Mhm.
talking about art and he said people can do art. People say you can do art with an app and I'm like, sorry, but you can't. It's the difference between eye candy and eye protein. Personality and emotion are what you need. I'm sorry, they don't happen in an effing app. And I'm like, yes, clap, snaps, cheers. Cause we are totally against like the AI stuff, you know?
I wonder if George Lucas curses at all.
I think he does. I think we heard stories that he does.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if J.W. Rinsler told us whether or not he does, because I guarantee we asked him that. I'll have to go back and
I
listen.
think Rob did. Rob told us he did. I think.
Oh yeah, maybe. So I think it's great that he made an appearance. It surprised me very much that he showed up there. But he wants to make sure that this museum gets the attention it needs. So him showing up in person shows how important it is to him because he doesn't make appearances anymore.
Ever. Yeah.
So that is cool. It does give me a glimmer of hope for the 50th anniversary of Star Wars Celebration, which will also be in California. It'll be in LA. So maybe he makes the trek for that, like you said. The other thing about George Lucas, which I find interesting, is he was always about pushing the technology forward and advancing the technology of filmmaking, as we all know. But he's also a huge like preservationist, and
Mhm.
he's like, and I wonder if like part of the creation of Indiana Jones came from that spirit of like preserving history and saving things from extinction in a weird way. Precious artifacts and like making sure that they're taken care of and studied and people learn from them. And you know then you look at this museum and he has, like you said, all these personal items that he has. Like I wonder if George like secretly has one of every creature and everything Star Wars ever made. Like I wonder how he must have warehouses somewhere that nobody even knows
What
about.
an awesome way to use your money. Like people talk
Yeah.
about rich people like, "Oh, what do they use the money for?" Like he's building a museum and building like a life-size starfighter and like all this other stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
awesome.
my and I quote tweeted this on TRB, and I see it in IGN's article. I love that he refers to the museum as a temple to people's art. And the word temple, it's just again like preserving and
Mm,
making sure you're keeping this history like taken care of so that
mhm.
people of future generations, long after George is gone, long after we're gone, can see this stuff, experience this stuff, be awed by these things, and inspired. And so I think that type of thing is 100% George Lucas wheelhouse right there. He's all about innovation, creativity, imagination, and everything that has to do with being an artist and a creative person. So I think this was a huge appearance by him. I know it's not really Star Wars news, but like we said, it's George Lucas. He made an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con,
He's the
record-breaking
guy.
crowd. He created all of this, and there's going to be a lot of Star Wars in that museum. So I'm just very excited for it, and I'm also happy for George Lucas because he does look like he's doing pretty well. Like at the indie premiere, he was like holding on to people and like shuffling his feet. He almost tripped on the carpet at one point, and it wasn't even his fault. The carpet had bubbles in it. But
Mhm.
now he just strutted out there. So it seems like he's doing better than he was then, which is always a good sign for someone who's in their 80s. So uh, glad George Lucas is doing well. We love George Lucas, and hopefully we get to that museum one day.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right, Lacey, time to fire up a tough segment. It is time for One with the Force.
The Force is with me, and I'm one with the Force.
All right. You're hosting this one. Go for it. He's drinking out of his water bottle again.
I'm doing this too.
Yeah.
All right. One with the Force. It is a segment we don't use as often as our segment Will of the Force, but sometimes for me it's more fun because we pitch a situation and you have to choose, make only one answer, one choice, and it's always a very difficult one. And of course, it's all about Star Wars. If you're new to the podcast, you'll get the drift as we do this first one here, but we want to see your answers. We want to see your choices in the comments, whether that's on YouTube, on Spotify. You can hit us up on email, social media, TRB Podcasts, or of course, patreon.com/TRB Podcasts. And if you do join our Patreon, by the way, it's only $5 per month. We do exclusive mini episodes over there. James is going to be appearing on one soon that we did not expect. We are doing more watch-alongs. We have a Discord server. We do live streams. We do a lot of fun stuff over on our Patreon, exclusive to the page, as a thank you for your support, because Patreon is vital to the success and future of TRB and Nerdy and Nice and everything we have going on. So please check it out. Patreon.com/TRB Podcast. If you're able to support, we know it's a crazy time. If you're able to, we thank you very much. All right, let's get into one with the Force, Lacey. The first one we have here is you, Gillerin, can change history of the Star Wars story.
Oh, man.
You have the power to change it so that Ben Solo not only redeems himself, but lived. But in order for that to happen, Rey has to die at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. If only one of them could survive Exegol, and you had the choice, do you keep it how it is or trade Ben for Rey?
When did you come up with this?
This morning when I wrote the show notes.
This isn't directed at me at all. So here's the thing. I'm gonna preface this with, I've always said that Ben should have survived, being that the sequel trilogy would have been stronger for Han and Leia if both of them dying was like followed by their son surviving. It's tough though, because for me, if Rey doesn't survive, then the story doesn't continue. Like, does it continue with Ben? That I don't what? Because it's been Rey's story, but then Rian Johnson kind of made it more about Ben than about Rey in The Last Jedi. I am going to say that if it's between Rey and Ben Solo, I think that Ben Solo should survive.
Oh! Oh my god.
Reason because I think it would bring back the like the bloodline to the light side with Ben surviving, because then Han died for a reason. Luke came to terms with what he what he did to Ben, and then Ben came back anyway, and then Leia sacrifices her energy and her life to save her son. I guess I have a one qualifying question. Is the movie exactly the same and he survives? Or would the movie be different? It would be exactly the same.
Well, from the point of that change on, obviously it'll be different, because it won't be Rey going to Tatooine talking to that old lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oof. I think this might be the hardest question you've ever asked me. I'm not going to lie. I think this might be the hardest one. It's tricky because if it's the same exact movie, then it doesn't work if he survives, because it's the same exact movie. Because how do you have the cheering at the end if he rolls up?
Maybe he doesn't roll up.
I know, but it's like, so the way I'm seeing it is, it would be a better story if you had Rey sacrifice herself as well to save Ben, to say, I'm willing to give up my life to save someone that fell to the dark side, that did all these terrible things, because I also come from a dark lineage, and I'm willing to sacrifice that dark lineage to protect the good one.
That's
A
tough.
better story than what we got. But
Because
if we're
then
going,
Rey gets no happiness in her whole life.
she does, because she ends up saving someone else and saving, redeeming herself from her lineage.
Ooh,
That's the story I'm talking about. But if we're
that's a
talking,
tough pill.
okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna change my answer only because
Oh,
no, because the story in my head is different if Ben lives, and if you're saying it's the exact same movie, then I'm not gonna change it. It doesn't make sense to change it, the story that it is.
all right. All right.
Because he wouldn't go to the celebration. He
No,
wouldn't, you know what I mean?
but,
But if
but
we're gonna rewrite the story,
what if he survives and there is the celebration and he goes, but he doesn't join the celebration. He just sort of watches them all celebrating and then sort of goes off in a ship. And
no,
we don't know where he goes.
they would have like arrested him and stuff.
No, they don't see him. They don't see him.
Oh, you think he's like hanging out like Luke Skywalker, like on the edge?
Yeah, he's in the outskirts of the woods, just like an Ewok would on Endor, just taking a little peek from the trees.
I'm gonna still stick with Ray. I'm going
Like
back.
Master Soul in that whole entire flashback.
Oh my gosh,
Just
Master
peeking around
Soul.
trees all day.
Yeah, I think I'll probably still stick with Ray just
All right.
because I don't see where the story goes from there. But I think if you were able to change it, it could be a more impactful story if Ben did survive.
Mine is uncharacteristically more of a pragmatic answer, and it's that Ben still dies, Ray lives, because I don't think Adam Driver had or has any intentions of revisiting the character, even if he did live.
Oh, so
I
yours
think
is like an actual like, oh, he doesn't want to do this anymore.
that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I had the power to change that, and I did, where I had Ben live, I think then that's it. And then we don't get to use Ray ever again or see Ray ever again in future movies. So I think both characters would end there. Whereas if Ray lives, we're obviously seeing the character go on. Because there's zero indication of anything. Adam Driver never teasing any sort of interest in coming back to play the character. I've
I
never
think
seen it.
he's over it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So I'm going
It's
at
just
from the
funny
pragmatic
because
angle, but
there was a video that went around, and it goes around every once in a while, that someone cut together of all the actors talking about like press for Rise of Skywalker and basically how much they hated the movie and like all
oh
the
Lord.
clips of them making jokes and stuff. And that's not to say that I think they hate it. It's just like someone edited it together, so it looks like that. Um, and no clips included Adam Driver. Like he really didn't do press for the movie. He really didn't do anything.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't think so.
all right. I'm glad we started off with a tough one. Maybe I should have put that last. But
I'm so
let's-
sorry, guys. I like worked through that as my hands were sweating as I was answering that question.
well, here's another tough one because that's what One with the Force is. It's just a gauntlet. Like we are I'm sometimes tired after One with the Force, you know? But good thing I have my water bottle here.
Oh my gosh, it's so awkward. Stop drinking.
Jedi Owala, Jedi Master Owala. All right.
Okay.
This next one. Here we go. Ready, everybody? Here we go.
Hmm.
Pick a Star Wars movie that would be better titled if it had the title of another Star Wars movie.
You start with this one because I started the last one.
So I've seen there was this clever video going around a while ago where some guy took all the saga movies and flipped them all around.
It was hilarious. He's like,
Yeah.
that would be this.
But I think the one change I would make, and I don't know if this is what this guy did or not, but I would make episode 1 The Force Awakens and make episode 7 The Phantom Menace. Because we don't know what what Snoke is. Evidently, it wound up being Palpatine in the shadows. That works as a Phantom Menace to me, especially because Palpatine was a ghost, literally a phantom. And then The Force Awakens is a very starting thing, like Anakin was born,
Yeah.
The Force Awakens. So I'm going with flipping those two. So I'm taking, essentially the move is taking Phantom Menace and making it called The Force Awakens. Star Wars Episode 1, The Force Awakens.
Okay. I actually agree with those changes. Those make sense.
Oh, thank you,
I
buddy.
would flip Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I would make Rise of Skywalker the second movie because Luke has like the whole ending scene where it's like he rises to meet not only the evil but his ultimate demise. And then the Last Jedi is like Rey is the last Jedi and she has all the other Jedi. I am all the Jedi. She stands up to Palpatine. I would switch those two. I think being the last Jedi is not I don't know. It's not it doesn't fit with what don't think it fits as well as the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I
I
know why they
remember.
said the Rise of Skywalker because she takes the name, but I
Yeah.
feel like Luke doing what he did in The Last Jedi fits better with the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that can work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Whew,
picks.
that one was a little better.
Not bad. All right. We have one more.
Yes.
Here we go. This one should be more of a light, fun one.
Mm.
Here we go. If we had personal soundtracks that played out loud when we went places, what is the one Star Wars theme or track that you would pick to be your soundtrack every time you arrived somewhere?
This is a tough one for me. I'm a very big soundtrack girl. I'm stuck between two, which is Rey theme. Everybody loves that theme. It's my phone ringtone and Princess Leia. I'm probably going to go Princess Leia. I love Princess Leia. It's such a beautiful song and if anybody would hear that when I walked in a room, I'd feel like they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, she's here."
Yeah, it is. It is like there's some whimsy in it. There's just a
Yeah.
lot of flowing notes and strings.
Very romantic.
Yeah.
And then it would quickly turn into, "Oh, she's here." Just
And
get
then it's
out of here.
Size noodles.
I wanted to joke and say Duel of the Fates, but I'm not that BA
That's a
to
good
get that.
pick. That's a good pick. That's probably a really popular pick, I would say. Duel of the
Oh,
Fates.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine is the throne room at the end of A New Hope.
You love that.
I mean, just look at those three walking and strutting. I have a shirt that says swag on it for swagger. And it's the three of them walking down that hallway. Like, that is the ultimate swagger. Like, I will never forget. Like, nobody looks cooler than Han Solo doing that walk. And then he's winking at Princess Leia when he gets his medal. Like, ultimate 10 out of 10 swag
I feel like
from
that's
Han
just Harrison.
Solo, Chewie, and Luke Skywalker. So, the throne room theme, it's just so... It gives me... Like, it's one of those Star Wars themes that I get goosebumps every time I hear it. The French horn just, like, really coming at it. Oh, it's so good.
John Williams loves a good French horn.
He does. Yes. That is one of my favorites. And they use it everywhere. It's like it's the Force theme now, basically. All right. Very cool. Let us move into our last segment that Lacey is going to run through. Here we go.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
All right, guys, time for Ask the Resistance. As John knows and loves when I say, you've got Star Wars questions, we've got Star Wars answers. No, this is a great way for you guys to get on the show if you're interested. Make sure to follow us on social media at TRB Podcasts on all platforms, and we'll put up a call for questions, and that's how you get on. And it's a fun way to engage with you guys and just keep the conversation going. So first up is Dominic at Kenobi_Dami, who asks, first of all, what's up? Asks, when do you guys think the marketing campaign for Mando and Grogu begins? Do you think they'll show Din without his helmet in any promo material? John, starting with you.
So I know we talked about the marketing last week a little bit, and I forget what we had settled on, but I think we were both looking at like maybe Monday Night Football trailer or something like that. Probably fall time.
They kind of already did kick it off with Celebration and stuff, and D23 is coming next month, but
yep. But the part of the question of yours that I liked the most was, will they show Din without his helmet in promo material? And I think that's such a great question because I never thought about that. And it's like Pedro Pascal's in this weird spot right now where he's like at peak popularity, and I already see people starting to try to tear him down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Fantastic Four comes out. It's doing really well at the box office. He's a very recognizable face. I'm not saying they need to show Pedro to bring people in to see Star Wars, but I'm curious if they'll do it just so people are like, oh, I just saw this guy in Fantastic Four and I loved him. I'm going to go see the new Star Wars movie. I'm talking about the general people who probably don't even know there's a Mandalorian movie coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be a very awesome surprise if in one of the trailers or something we see him with his helmet off. I think that would be really cool to see. And it will get the diehard fans buzzing because all you hear is Lateef Crowder and Brendan Wayne. Lateef Crowder and Brendan Wayne, they're the ones, and they are, without a doubt. But if fans see Pedro with the mask off doing like an action scene or something quick, people be like, this guy is like, he is the Mandalorian. He's bought in, like he came back to do it, and it's not just a voice. Because that still bothered me a little bit, how flippant that was, and how they were like, yeah, he's pretty much just the voice now. And I'm like, that kind of sucks a little,
It does.
Because then he's doing all these
He's
other
definitely in the
projects.
movie because he kept that mustache
Right.
for a while.
Right.
And
So
the longer hair, not the mustache, because he had a mustache in Fantastic Four too.
And I think, I don't know when it was, but there was some sort of not long ago magazine shoot or something. It might have been when like Kenobi was coming out though, where it was like him with his helmet off with Grogu or something. And it was a really cool shot.
They did it for Variety, yeah. When
Variety,
they were
yeah.
like upcoming series, it was Ahsoka and or Kenobi and Mandalorian. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see it in my opinion. I don't know. What do you got?
Dominic, I think they're gonna kick off Mando and Grogu marketing probably officially with D23, where they're gonna announce some stuff, but like trailers and whatnot, holiday season is probably where it's gonna kick off when they have all these movies coming out in the fall. I don't think they're gonna show him with his helmet off in marketing.
Okay.
I think that people know who the Mandalorian is, and it doesn't have to be Pedro. And I think there's also been this really weird thing happening where people are trying to hate on Pedro online.
Yeah.
That like, I don't understand it. I'm sure it's something related to his views on politics or something he said that people like don't like him now. It's weird how the internet does that, where they turn on someone so quickly when they were like the obsession for 4 months or whatever. They've done it with so many people, from Jennifer Lawrence to whoever. And I just think they're going to stick to the helmet because it's easier to tell non-Star Wars people that it's a Star Wars movie if they keep him in the helmet. And plus they have him everywhere and he can still be, make appearances in the parks and do all these things if he has the helmet on. Now, that's not to say that I think he's going to keep the helmet on the whole movie, because I don't think he will. And obviously Pedro's not going to walk around doing press in the helmet. But yeah, I think for the marketing and trailers and whatnot, posters, he's going to have the helmet on.
I think, posters definitely. I would love just one shot in a trailer of him with the helmet off.
Yeah.
One shot.
And they also might be doing it to separate him from Fantastic Four a little bit, because they don't want people to be like, wasn't this guy just in Fantastic Four? They might also try to separate that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good answer. I agree with your points for sure. All right.
Okay, next question is coming from Rick. What up, Rick? At cadbainesbounty.bluesky.social.
What up, buddy?
He said, will we ever learn more about Lando's daughter, Kadara? So Kadara Calrissian shows up in Shadow of the Sith from Adam Christopher in the book and the audiobook. So he's wondering if we're ever going to hear more about her. So the interesting thing about that, Rick, is, first of all, great question. Thanks for contributing. Second of all, it felt to me, and I might be totally off, but it felt like they kind of hinted in The Rise of Skywalker that Jannah is his son or daughter. Am I making that up? Am I imagining that differently? Because I feel like they kind of hinted at it at the end there, where he's sitting with her at the celebratory thing being like, I haven't found my family. And he's like, well, let's go find them. And you're like, There's something going on here.
I think the first time I saw it, I felt that a little bit, and then the more
Yeah.
I watch it, the more I think about him saying, well, let's find out." And I don't think he was like, "Let's go do a paternity test." I think he was like,
I
"Let's
don't
try to
think
help
so.
you find
No,
your
no, no.
family."
I think I didn't take it as Lando knew she was his daughter. I
No, I
took it
know,
as
yeah.
they were winking at the audience, like, "Hey," because it was
Mm,
just such a I don't know, in writing, it's such a weird call out to be like, why is she saying this to him, to anybody there? Like, why are they having this moment together? It just didn't make sense to
I
me.
think that, and it's interesting because Kadara's first appearance is in a deleted scene of The Rise of Skywalker, I guess, where Lando's talking about how his daughter was taken when she was a baby.
Right.
So, and it's funny that her debut was in a visual dictionary by Pablo Hidalgo because it didn't make it in the movie. So then, like you mentioned, the Adam Christopher book, they elaborate on that more. And it also like it's one of those things you hate with the legacy characters where they're like, and then he didn't find his daughter, and him and Luke failed, so he decided to be a hermit on Pisana. And it's like
Right. And
Lando
then
Calrissian ends up being a hermit sucks, man.
I know, and then it ends up it would not surprise me if the story is that she became a stormtrooper, she was force sensitive, her and Finn have this connection, and oh, surprise, it's also Lando's daughter.
Yeah,
Like, that's the vibe I got. So I think we will hear more about her in the future Rey movies. I think they're going to say that that's who that is. Jana
they're
is.
gonna say who. No, well, aren't they doing something in the comics right now with Jana
They're
and
doing
Finn? A
a book
book?
about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Jana's his daughter.
Okay.
I understand why that felt that way because it does. You could definitely take it that way, and I think I did
Mm,
initially.
mm.
But I think they'll do something with his daughter. It won't be in live action because I mean Billy D. Williams is like 85. I don't think he's acting anymore. Um, at least in a movie like that. Because I think it was even a little tough for him with Rise of Skywalker, as I understand it, in terms of his mobility and that kind of stuff. But so I think they'll explore it, and if they do, it'll be in a comic or a book. They'll do it that
Interesting.
way. Yeah. But we'll see. It's a good question. Thanks, Rick.
All right. And our last question comes from Chris at Heroes Peak at heroespeak.bluesky.social. And Chris asks, do you want to see a movie or series about the rise and fall of Luke's academy, John?
Oh, you take that one.
I I do not want to see this. I feel like in the past I did, but at this point it doesn't, I don't know, interest me. I would rather see an animated series of Luke, Han, and Leia doing their stuff together at that like height of the rebellion, like going on missions and stuff over this. I feel like we've gotten this story told. They told it in comics, they told it on the screen. I don't need to see it. It's just depressing. I'd rather see
Hmm.
something that like really more action adventure, fun, fantasy, the trio together because that's what we didn't get in the sequel trilogy. So, uh sorry Chris, I don't mean to be negative, but I don't want to see that. But I do want to see more of Luke.
Yeah.
John?
I think I had always thought that it was Ben Solo who burned down the buildings in the academy or the huts or whatever you want to call it. Not
It
the
wasn't in the
not,
comics, it was the Knights of
right.
Ren.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. But when that comic came out after The Last Jedi.
it
And
did.
so I had thought like the way the movie positioned it and everything and how linear things are with Star Wars movies, I was like, Ben burned down the Academy. Like that was in my brain. And then they do the comic and they're like, no, it wasn't him. See, he can be redeemed. And I'm like, oh. So it was just these he was so
Oh.
mad and
Oh.
the disappointment in my voice.
Oh.
4 years later, Charles Soule, how dare you? No, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, it wasn't Ben Solo after all. It was these two guys.
It's just like, oh.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that was, but I
sadness, just
yeah.
sad Star Wars. Just wah,
Yeah,
wah.
yeah. Well, I think it would have been more impactful if it was him, because we see Luke there crying on his knees next to R2. There's ash everywhere. Like, it would have been way more impactful if it was Ben who did it.
And we saw that in The Force Awakens and later
Yeah,
too.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. It's like,
Oh,
so, man, sometimes the swings they take on those comics, but and that's not no
just reminds me-
disrespect. It just totally flipped everything on me. I was like, so he didn't do it after we watched this whole journey on film? Wow.
I know how they really kind of emphasize that it was him. It just reminds me of Tony Gilroy with the comic for Andor being like, they said they met this way, and I was like, F it, I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
Yeah, he's like, that's nice, but oh
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't need to see it either. Lacey, you hit the nail on the head. We have seen this in the comics, like we just talked about the Kylo Ren run from Charles Soule, which is well made. Let's be clear about it. And then the shots from the movies and all that, and then it would be a de-aged Mark Hamill or a CG thing or everyone, Sebastian Stan. I'm sure he's like 50. People are like, he should be young Luke. It's like, guys, we got to move on from that one for sure. So I don't need to see the full. Yeah, exactly. I don't think we need to see the rise and fall of Luke's Academy. It feels redundant. It feels like you say a lot, Lacey, like Order 66. It's like,
I was
how
just about to
many
say that. I was like,
vantage
how many
points are we
times do
gonna
we
get?
need to see? How many times do we have to
Yeah,
repeat this
agreed.
depressing event?
I'm with you.
Mhm.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
That it?
That's it. Back to you, Joe.
All? Oh,
Again.
man. I tried to snipe it. All right, hang on.
Aww.
Jedi Master Owala. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching and being a part of TRB. We hope you had a good time with the podcast. We had a good time making it. So spread the word. Tell your friends. If you have a coworker, a classmate, a colleague, a friend, a cousin who likes Star Wars, I'm sure you're going to see people this last month of summer. Tell them about TRB. Spread the word. And if you like all the other stuff we talk about on Nerdy and Nice, tell them about that too. But make sure you just tell them to look it up. TRB Podcasts.
I had a memory come up on Facebook with a close friend at Celebration that I had seen, and they'd post like, "Oh, saw Lacey, great start to Celebration," and someone in their comments that I didn't know was like, "I listen to her all the time."
Oh,
I was
really?
like, "Oh, thanks." Yeah,
I thought you were going to give me one of those stories where you were like, and then I don't talk to that person anymore.
No. But it's just funny how that happens sometimes, where you're like the Wawa story I told recently, where like
I know
my client was at a Wawa in Virginia, and they were like, "Resistant Broadcast, I love that show," and he was like, "What?"
Yeah, and David Probus's story about how he got recognized from being on the Patreon pod race at a movie theater.
Yeah,
no one has ever come up to me. So aside from Star Wars Celebration and stuff, but I mean,
they said General Graybeard.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I just I think that would be so cool if someone's like, "Hey, are you the Resistance Broadcast?" Like, not at a Celebration, but it has never happened. All right. We mentioned Patreon. A big thank you to the Generals and Spice Runners on Patreon. We got the Generals: Carmelo, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Frank Grande, Chris Morales, Mike Ramori, Brendan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornack, Colin Cormier, Stephen Garrow, Sachi, and Darth Snips. Thank you. You guys rock. And we just mentioned one of them, the Spice Runners: David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gellner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, the Fort Worthian, and Brian Smith. And however you support us, thank you so much. Whether it's listening, watching, Patreon, buying shirts, we got new stuff coming. Thank you so much. Lacey, anything to put out there besides your social handles?
No, people can find me on social media at Lacey Gillerin and on TikTok at It's Lacey Gillerin. If you want to pick up a bag of our coffee, you can head over to weirdbrothers.com. Yeah. If you want to pick up some Star Wars merch at Gentle Giant, you can use our code Resist20, 20% off.
Yep.
And we will be off next week on TRB. I'm going away with family. However, we will have mini episodes up on Patreon. So now's a good time to join if you're interested, starting at $5 a month.
Agreed. And thank you all for your support. And yeah, a little break from TRB. We got a Nerdy Nice coming Monday. But yeah, a couple little summer vacations before we get back into the swing of things for fall, which I feel like things always just get busier from a media standpoint.
Yes.
So
Yep. D23
gearing
is
up.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So we hope your summers are going well. Lacey, I'll talk to you on Nerdy and Nice, but I hope you have a wonderful vacation with the fam.
Thanks.
And everyone have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on the Resistance broadcast. See you around, kids.